it. I freaking love it. And what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, a.k.a. Mr. Take It Easy. Boy, you end our life easy. But make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. Hey, man, but look. Smeagol's gay. Smeagol's gay. Till I'm in the grave. Hold on, till I'm in the grave. Get on. But nah, though, man, I was actually pulling for y'all, though. Like, even though y'all big ops, you know what I'm saying? Even though y'all the ops, I was actually pulling for y'all. I was pulling for y'all goofy op boys, you know what I'm saying, because of my bracket. So you ruined me getting $50,000, you know, and you got them trash Whiner fans actually thinking they like that. So congratulations, you Smeagol fans, for ruining $50,000. Congratulations. You know, I should have knew with Jalen Dirt. You know what I mean? AJ Brown getting a Nick Sirianni face. Hey, look, op boys, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. You need to get rid of AJ Brown. He is a cancer. I would not want A.J. Brown on my team. We cool. We got a wide receiver #1. Most likely we finna draft Jordan Tyson. We good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want nobody like A.J. Brown on our team, bro. You know what I mean, bro? Like, literally, bro, you miss catches, you cry, you whine so much, and then when the ball is thrown to you, you miss catches. And then you got the nerve to get in your head coaching face. That's what I be saying, bro. If I was a head coach, bro, you sit the freak down. You had the nerve to get in your head coach face. You know what I'm saying? You got in your head coach face, bro. Man, if I was Nick Sirianni, man, I would have sat that boy down so much. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You mess up the chemistry and you mess up the rhythm. You cry too much, bro. You know what I mean? You put I before team. You know what I'm saying? You worried about my stats. You worried about how AJ Brown look, not how the Smeagol's look. And players like you can make a team look worse than what they are. Players like you are a cancer, bro. You make the team play bad. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to be so focused. Jalen Dirt got to be so focused. Okay, I got to give A.J. Brown the ball so A.J. Brown don't be crying. I think the best thing for y'all to do is trade him. What is his contract looking like? His contract up? If his contract is up, I got to look at his contract. If his contract is up, Smeagol's, I'll let him be a free agent. You know what I'm saying? Mate, Devontae Smith, bro, he's a very unproblematic wide receiver. And I feel like Devontae Smith can be just as good as A.J. Brown if he get his... I mean, like, are we tweaking? Like, Devontae Smith is... he could be like Devontae Smith can be that. I feel like without Devontae Smith, you Smeagol's would not be how you Smeagol's is on offense. You know what I'm saying? Devontae Smith, all pro level, bro. You feel me? He can be a wide receiver 1 on any team. I'm telling you right now. One of the best college wide receiver in history. I just feel like he shares snaps with A.J. Brown. That's why Devontae Smith don't really get that, you know, recognition. You know what I mean? But there's plenty of times where Devontae Smith took over games. You know, had better games than A.J. Brown. So for me, bro, if it's free agency, I'll let him go in free agency. Or I'll trade for him. You get a lot for A.J. Brown. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd do if I was a Smeagol's personally. Because the head coaching and all that, getting in the head coaching face and all that, that's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, y'all just fired y'all offensive coordinator I seen. He's not the problem. I mean, he's part of the problem, but the problem is Jalen Dirt. I've been telling y'all this the whole time that he is a system QB. The problem is, bro, and this is what it is, bro, this man had, he's never going to get used to an offensive coordinator because you're always firing him. Like, this is like his 4th offensive coordinator that he's had in the past how many years? Dang, when you going to keep a consistent offensive coordinator, bro? See, the thing is, it's not the offensive coordinator, it's that people adjusted to Jalen Dirt. That's what it is, bro. They adjusted to him. They seen that he's a short route merchant. They seen that he's not really a thrower. So we take away the short routes. He really doesn't have anything to account for. They just adjusted to him. So I feel like that's more on, I feel like this season, how it went, it's more on Jalen Dirt than your offensive coordinator. Because they just adjusted to Jalen Dirt. How many overthrows has Jalen Dirt had this season? How many bad throws has Jalen had this season? I feel like you Smeagol fans just trying to find anything to blame but Jalen Dirt. The thing is he don't have the #1 defense in the NFL anymore. He has the best O-line ever to be created. No O-line is like the Smeagol's. You have 3 All-Pros, 3 Hall of Famers on your O-line. Bro, you had the best center on your team in history, Jason Kelce. You have 2 of the best tackles I've ever seen in my life. You have an All-Pro guard, and you still cannot thrive under this O-line. So, bro, you telling me that he's a top 5 QB, and he looks like this under this O-line? Imagine Josh Allen with this O-line. Imagine Joe Burrow, Joe Donick with this O-line. Bro, imagine Patrick Mahomes with this O-line. Bro, Patrick Mahomes will have like, 7 rings. That's how I know you just not a top 5 quarterback, because even the positions that you in, having a good O-line, having Saquon Durant, having a stellar wide receiver core, and you still cannot perform at a high level. You still BJ with the things that's surrounded by you. Come on, bro. But he a top 5 QB. But he can't even do good with all pros. Man, the man dang near whole O-line is all pros. This man don't have to worry about a thing. This man has the most time in the pocket I've ever seen from any quarterback. It's rare that I see Jalen Dirt having to start off the lot. It's rare. This man be having at least 7 seconds in the pocket. And you still can't thrive? Nah, we ain't gonna act like it's just all on the offensive coordinator. Yeah, he's part of the blame. But Jalen Dirt is part of the blame too. Yeah.
Things. A, I want A.J. Brown packing his bags, and I also want Kevin Patullo flipping burgers at like the local McDonald's or something. I don't care.
With all the garbage that San Francisco threw at them defensively, they couldn't get more than 19 points on the board. This team defensively was supposed to be their calling card, their hallmark, and they went up and down the field. This is absolutely terrible. It's an embarrassment.
The Philadelphia Eagles just got bounced from the playoffs at home as defending Super Bowl champions by a 49ers team missing Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and a team that literally watched George Kittle get carted off the field with a torn Achilles in the second quarter. And somehow, someway, the most expensive offense in the NFL, we're talking $128 million of Jeffrey Lurie's money, could only muster 19 points and watched their season end on a failed 4th and 11 that had their own quarterback looking like he couldn't believe what play was just called. But that's not even the craziest part. Before the final whistle, we had Nick Sirianni literally sprinting down the sideline to scream at A.J. Brown. Big Dom DeSandro having to physically separate them, and a post-game press conference where Sirianni put his buddy Kevin Patullo's job on a platter. This isn't just a playoff loss, this is an organizational implosion, and we need to talk about how the defending champs went from hoisting the Lombardi to this disaster in less than 12 months.
Bro, I told Smeagol fans, I did not tell you, bro, that you losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you losing Darius Slay Jr., you losing Sweat, you losing these valuable pieces to your team. Did I not say that this was going to be the reason why y'all lost? Did I not say the only reason y'all was winning last year, y'all went on that dominant run, was because of y'all defense? The same thing happened, bro, when y'all let go of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. When y'all defense went downhill, the same thing happened. You got bounced out the playoffs by the Buccaneers. The same thing happened. Your defense has been saving your offense. It's just a fact. If your defense is not as good as it is last year, you're just not winning. And your defense just wasn't that good this year. You lost key pieces to your defense, and I've been saying that. The players that made your team good on defensive side is now gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real.
Now, throughout Wildcard Weekend, we were able to successfully leverage Prize Picks' promos to make ourselves some serious cash. And I'm back at it again for tonight.
Okay, let me jump ahead right quick.
What's going on, everybody? So the Philadelphia Eagles came into this game as the 3 seed, hosting the 6 seed 49ers at Lincoln Financial Field. On paper, this should have been a layup. The San Francisco 49ers hadn't had Nick Bosa all season, the guy who was arguably the best defensive player in football. Fred Warner, their defensive quarterback, has been gone for months. And then in the second quarter, George Kittle goes down with an Achilles injury and gets carted off. He had 1 reception before leaving. You would think the Eagles offense would feast on whatever was left of that depleted
Jalen Dirt.
Instead, Jalen Hurts threw for 168 yards. That's it. The Super Bowl MVP, the guy they're paying $255 million, threw for 168 yards against a secondary that was basically held together with duct tape and prayers. It gets worse. In the third quarter, the Eagles had 36 total yards on 16 plays. 36, that's 2.25 yards per play in a playoff game with your season on the line. The 49ers only had 10 points at halftime. Philly was winning 13-10. They had every opportunity to put this game away, and instead, the offense completely flatlined. And here's the craziest part. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year on a trick play, the Philly special sequel. This year, they lost on a trick play. Juwan Jennings takes a pitch, rolls right, and hits Christian McCaffrey for an insane 29 yards.
And I told the freaking whiners, you know what I'm saying? The freaking whiners. You know what I'm saying? I told the whiners, the only reason, bro, CMC is their offense, bro. CMC is literally the reason why the whiners won. If you stop CMC, the whiners are cooked. Now they're not having George Kittle. You're cooked. The key to beating the freaking whiners is stopping CMC. CMC is like how Bijan Robinson is to the Falcons. Because Brock Purdy, he's a system quarterback. So you got to understand, he's only good with the players. He's only good because of players that surround him. I mean, look at this season. He was BJ, trash. You see, when he had that much talent around him, you know what I mean, as he did, he looked terrible. You know what I'm saying? Trash this season, honestly. Built like a sack of laundry. You know what I'm saying? But now he found this new scapegoat, CMC. You stop CMC, Turdy gonna be Turdy. And that's for Sholioli. Turdy's going to be Turdy. Next game, we're going to see how Brock Purdy looks without George Kittle. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see how he look without George Kittle. He's going to try to ride the back of CMC the whole game. CMC. CM Niners. That's what their name should be. CM Niners. But without CMC, oh, good God almighty, dog.
Touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter. The same franchise that invented the trick play magic got cooked by it. The final score was the 49ers
CMC again.
The Eagles 19. Defending champs eliminated in the wild card round. That's the first time that's happened.
Hilarious.
Well, we're not gonna go there. Now we got to talk about what happened before the game was over, because the AJ Brown and Nick Sirianni confrontation might be the most telling moment of the entire dysfunctional season. Late in the second quarter, cameras caught Nick Sirianni literally sprinting down the sideline to get into AJ Brown's face. Not walking, not jogging, full sprint. Brown had just missed 2 deep shots from Hurts, and Sirianni was apparently trying to get him off the field to avoid a too many men penalty. But Brown wasn't having it. He ripped off his helmet and got right back in Sirianni's face. They're jawing at each other, and then Big Dom DeSandro, the Eagles' chief security officer, has to physically step between them and push Brown away. And even after that, Brown kept yelling at Sirianni. Tom Brady, who was calling the game, tried to downplay it. He said Sirianni and Brown have a great relationship and that these things happen in the heat of competition. And look, I get it. Brady screamed at coaches and teammates plenty of times in his career. Hell, even Nick Sirianni tried to downplay it following the game.
I love AJ. I think he knows how I feel about him. I have a special relationship with him. We probably went through every emotion you can possibly have together.
But here's the thing. This wasn't the first time these two have gotten into it this season. Brown has been visibly frustrated with his role in the offense all year. He's been calling out plays on social media.
If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way. As I say, he's been crying this whole season. You know what I'm saying? And for the coach trying to downplay this diva, it's blasphemy. I repeat, blasphemy. I wish one of my players would get in my face. I'm your head coach. I'm your coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm your coach. Mother effer, I'm your boss. You trying to get in my face? What? If any employee was to do that to their boss on a regular day job, see, we gotta step away from football and we gotta step into the job title. Let's step away from it being football and let's step into being a job. So if that was an employee, a regular employee that's at a warehouse or wherever, getting his boss face, what you think would happen to that employee? Would have got fired? Would have got fired immediately. It's the same thing with football. It's just football. This is their job. It's just like a job, but it's football. But people forget this is a job. You have to perform well. If you do not perform well, you get fired. Nick Sirianni, that's their boss. He's the head coach. You are the employees. It's just different for players. So you getting in my face shows me that you don't respect me. And that's not going to be tolerated. I'm your boss. This is my team. My team. I hired the offensive coordinator. I hired the defensive coordinator. Everything that is ran on this field comes through me. I put you in positions to win. And you're going to get in my face. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get in my face. The only reason you have 1,000 yards, you had 1,000-yard season is because the offensive coordinator that I hired and his design. But you're going to get in my face when I literally put you in positions to win a ring too as well? Of course, A.J. Brown, he has something to do with that. Of course, it's 50-50, but Nick Sirianni has a lot to do with your success, just like how you have a lot to do with his success. It's 50-50, bro. Y'all both compliment each other. But at the end of the day, that's your boss, bro. He the reason you on that field. Nick Sirianni has the power to bench you, bro. I would have benched you and sat you the freak down. Don't care who you are. Because you know what? I told you. I said in my last video when I was reacting to the Gordon Ramsay video, if you let people walk over you, they gonna do it. That's one thing that y'all need to grasp on and you need to listen to and just carry that on with your life. If you let people, remember this, chat, if you let people walk over you, they gonna continue to do it. People ain't gonna respect you until you show them. Until you show why you should be respected, until you lay your foot down, people gonna think they can walk all over you. I'm telling you. I'm not gonna say everybody, but some people, okay? Because I'm not that immature. I'm a mature person. I don't try to put everybody in the box. I know with some people that's just respectable. Respect. They're gonna give you respect. You give them respect, they're gonna give you respect. So I don't want to put everybody in the box, but some people, that's the mature way to say it. Some people will walk over you if you let them. Some people, you have to put your foot down to let them understand. And right when you put your foot down, I bet you ain't going to disrespect you again. I promise you, if Nick Sirianni would have sat his butt down, I promise you we wouldn't have no problems about A.J. Brown again. Sit his butt down. And I promise you, you won't have no problems with A.J. Brown again, but you let him back in again, guess what he's going to do? He's going to do the same thing again. Because you know why? He's not learning. He thinking he can do whatever he wants to you, Sirianni. I can get in your face, you still going to play me. I can disrespect me, you still gonna play me. He's walking all over you, Nick Sirianni. That's what I'm talking about. A coach that has no heart. I ain't never seen a player get in Nick Saban face. I ain't never, out of my whole life watching Alabama football, ever seen a player get in Nick Saban face. I bet your butt would have been set down. I bet you. But you have no heart. You have no heart. You have no guts. You know what I'm saying? You have no spine. And that right there is going to be the downfall of the Philadelphia Eagles too. Your head coach don't got a spine. The head coach ain't got a spine. He ain't got heart. He letting this diva, he letting this mother effer do whatever the freak he want to do. Man, A.J. Brown, if you watching this, man, I would have shut your butt down. I don't care how you feel about me. Request a trade. Go on another team free agents. Let they deal with you. I'd rather deal with a player that's respectable and disciplined than the player that got talent. A.J. Brown got all the talent in the world, but he's not coachable. I'd rather deal with a player that's coachable and that's disciplined and that, and, you know, he probably ain't got a lot of talent in you, but we can work on talent. I can make a person that's not an all-pro into all-pro. It's happened before where players improved. It happened. So if he's disciplined and he's coachable, I could work with him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to be a cancer to the team. So he's going to have talent, he's going to have discipline, and he's coachable. I'd rather those three traits than somebody that's just talented but not coachable, but not disciplined. Yeah, he's talented, but he come with a lot of issues. You know what I'm saying? Like Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith could be better than A.J. Brown. I promise you that. You don't hear nothing from Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, disciplined, coachable. When you hear Devontae Smith crying, I don't hear Devontae Smith crying. Still can get 1,000 yards. Proved it. He could be better than A.J. Brown. Something telling me you need to make Devontae Smith your wide receiver #1, not this motherfucker. Because Devontae Smith don't be crying at all. When you hear Devontae Smith say anything about not getting the ball. You know what I'm saying? But this motherfucker right here, he got to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's just point up here. And you Philadelphia Eagles fans, y'all know I ain't lying. Having this motherfucker on your team hurting y'all. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying?
The offensive show during a live stream after one of their games.
Hey, but look, everything been good though. Like you know what I'm saying? Everything been straight.
No.
Where
have you been? Like family good? Yeah.
Yeah.
You see this?
He called the offensive show during a live stream after one of their games.
Hey, but look, everything been good though. Like you know what I'm saying? Everything been straight.
No. Where have you been? Like family good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else? No.
Trust me.
Shit show. Tell them how you been. I've been, struggling, brother.
And now in a playoff game,
That's
the head
crazy.
coach is literally running at his
Said that on the live stream?
scream at him. At halftime, Sirianni tried to downplay the situation.
He said emotions, they run high, especially in the playoffs. He said, of course, after this game, we'll go back to loving each other.
Except they're not fine. They lost. And now Brown's future in Philadelphia is a legitimate question. After the game, Jimmy Kempsey reported that A.J. Brown went around the locker room hugging his teammates and then bounced without talking to the reporters. Again, he's been dodging the media for over a month now. And here's the financial reality that makes this even messier. A.J. Brown has a $72.5 million dead cap hit if the Eagles try to move him. That contract extension he signed, $96 million over 3 years, has him locked in through 2029. Trading him would add $20 million to the Eagles cap next year. That's not a decision you make lightly, but as one analyst put it, it'd be a lot easier to get rid of the people he's currently mad at, Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo.
Why would you get rid of Nick Sirianni? You're going to get, and this is just something I don't understand. So getting rid of Nick Sirianni after he just won a Super Bowl, like Nick Sirianni is one of the most successful coaches in the league as of right now. We talking about head coaches that got jobs. Nick Sirianni is up there. You know what I'm saying? He's up there. So you're going to fire a coach after he just came off a Super Bowl win? It's like the way you people think isn't realistic. Okay, fire the offensive coordinator. I don't feel like you should have fired the offensive coordinator. I feel like you just need an offensive coordinator that's going to be, that you got to be consistent. You're not consistent enough for me. But firing Nick Sirianni after just coming off a Super Bowl win, like this is the NFL. You lose one game, you done. This is the NFL. He's done something that a lot of teams haven't done. So for you to fire him because you lost a playoff game? Rarely? That's crazy. That's crazy. You weren't winning like this until Nick Sirianni came? You know what I'm saying? You only got 2 rings. You wasn't in a conversation like this until Nick Sirianni came. You talking about firing Nick Sirianni? I'll take that cap. I'll take it. I'm telling y'all, man, what I feel like should happen, I don't know, man. Give Jalen Dirt. If I was y'all, I'd draft a backup quarterback in this draft. I'd draft a backup quarterback this draft. I know it probably sounds crazy. Not saying the first round, not saying the second round, but I'd get a quarterback in the 4th or 3rd or something. I'm just being real. I'm telling y'all, he's not the quarterback. I'm telling y'all, I don't care if you won a Super Bowl MVP. The real MVPs was that defense last year. If you watched the Super Bowl, you know that defense was dismantling Patrick Mahomes, so it made it easy for Jalen Dirt to do his thing. Just look at it, bro. Their own, telling y'all, he is a system QB, bro. Trying to tell y'all, bro. Y'all starting to see it, bro. He is not as good as y'all think he is, bro. If he don't have a good defense, he's not going to thrive. So it's like, I kind of understand why A.J. Brown feels this way, but it's like, I don't know.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room, Kevin Patullo, the first-year offensive coordinator who might not survive the week. Let me give you the backstory.
He just got fired.
Patullo and Sirianni go way back. They worked together on the Colts staff, and when Sirianni came to Philly, Patullo followed him. He was the passing game coordinator, then got promoted to associate head coach. And when Kellen Moore left to become the Saints head coach after the Super Bowl win, Sirianni promoted his buddy to offensive coordinator. The problem? Patullo's play calling has been criticized all season for being predictable, uninspiring, and over-reliant on hitch routes and inside zone runs. The offense ranked 24th in yards per game this season. And bear in mind, the Philadelphia Eagles have Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown,
trash.
Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and a dual-threat quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and they're notorious for one of the most unstoppable plays in football, the tush push. They have $128 million in offensive talent, and they're
It's just people adjusted to him.
24th in
Telling
yards. Warren Sharp is one of the most respected football analysts out there, and he tweeted out before the game that if the Eagles lose, they have no one to blame but Nick Sirianni for appointing a horrible offensive coordinator because he's a pal, and then not reassigning play calling when it was clear that the offensive coordinator was horrible, wasting an elite defense because you wanted to let your buddy call offensive plays. And nothing illustrated this more than the final drive.
Yeah, I don't think your defense has been like elite this season. I don't really think it's been like elite. Definitely wasn't how it was last year. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like your D-line make your DBs look like all pros. It's honestly how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like last year your D-line made your D-line made your DBs like all pros. That's just how I feel.
11 with 43 seconds left. Season on the line. Sirianni calls a timeout. Why? Well, let me have him explain it to you himself.
We wanted to see what defense we were in. We didn't think that there was going to be a great opportunity to get the ball back with enough time to do anything if we stopped them. We knew that that was going to be the last possession. So we took a picture of what we thought they were going to do, give ourselves some information, and that's why.
So Nick Sirianni uses a timeout to
Hawks coming back.
like, and then
The Atlanta Hawks coming back.
Run this. Now let me explain to you briefly why this is a horrific play call. The San Francisco 49ers were running cover 4. Cover 4 is the most effective defensive play against 4 verticals in the red zone. And the craziest part is the Philadelphia Eagles knew it was coming, and they still ran 4 verticals anyway. The result was a disaster.
Yeah, I don't know what that play was.
Acho called it sickening. Dan Orlovsky pointed out that on the Eagles' final 10-play drive, they ran the same play or copied a previous play 4 different times. 4 times in a playoff game when the 49ers knew exactly what was coming. And the worst part is, video shows that Jalen Hurts was looking at the sideline like he couldn't believe what play was being called. His own quarterback looked confused on the most important play of the season. That's not execution failure, that's scheme failure. After the game, Sirianni was asked about Kevin Patullo's future, and his answer?
Yeah, you know, again, will be time to evaluate everybody's performance.
That's coach speak for he's probably gone. When your head coach won't commit to you the night of a playoff loss, your bag should already be packed. What's wild is Devontae Smith actually endorses Kevin Patullo.
I feel like he did a great job, man. A lot of stuff is on us as players. You know, I feel like he called great the whole year.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Accountability, though, bro. That's what a lot of y'all fans don't like to hear. They don't like to hear that, bro. Accountability. You know what I mean? It's like, dang, it's so much that an OC can do when you players don't execute. You know what I'm saying? You got to blame the players, too, for one. If you can't execute, you got to blame. Like, Jalen Dirt had a main part of that reason, bro. I've seen Jalen Dirt overthrow plays. Like, A.J. Brown dropping the ball. That's on y'all OC. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. Like, you got to blame players as well. I feel like it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's the players and the offensive coordinator, bro. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you should have kept him. I feel like it's Jalen Dirt, bro. Who I feel like is the problem is Jalen Dirt. That's how I feel. I feel like that's the sole problem, Jalen Dirt. I feel like people don't want to admit it, but I feel like your quarterback is the problem.
Didn't execute well.
The thing is, Sirianni might be loyal to Patullo, but Jeffrey Lurie has forced coordinators out before, and Lurie didn't spend $128 million on offense to watch it rank 24th in the league and get bounced in the wild card round. Here's the stat that should terrify Eagles fans. This is the 4th different offensive coordinator in 5 seasons under Sirianni.
Is Jalen Dirt,
Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Patullo. The revolving door keeps spinning, and at some point you have to ask if the problem is the coordinators or the guy that's hiring them. Now, we can't have this conversation without talking about the $255 million philosopher that happens to play quarterback.
It has to come down to Jalen Dirt. Like last year, Jalen Dirt didn't do good. I think last year, bro, Jalen Dirt threw for 18 TDs and 5 interceptions. Like, Jalen Dirt did not have a stellar season. If anything, like I said, your defense and Saquon Durant, your rushing game was the main reason when it comes to your offense. And your defense. You had the #1 defense in the league, bro. That was the reason for y'all success last year. But Jalen Dirt don't be having no crazy stats. Just go look at his stats. Am I lying or am I dying? Don't be going crazy. Ain't one time Jalen Dirt's had an MVP season. I'm talking like an MVP season. Like, honestly, like we could just put Jalen Dirt in the MVP conversation. Name one season. You can't name one season, bro. You can't.
For the Philadelphia Eagles.
Obviously, for me, winning is the only thing that matters. I ain't hungry. Coach Dow always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving for this.
Jalen Hurts had his worst statistical season since becoming a full-time starter. And some of that is on Patullo's scheme, but some of it is also on Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, I need you to be special. Make plays. The problem is we can't do different exotic looks, different formations, different motions.
Because he can't throw.
He can't really do it.
Hurts himself called out the coaching.
Season just kind of going the way it has. The approach this year and how the games have been called. This coordinator with Coach KP, it's just kind of going that way. And so I'm just kind of taking it in stride and try to give my best for whatever position I've been put in.
That's your franchise quarterback publicly putting distance between himself and the offensive coordinator. That's not a good sign. But Hurts also had just 421 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns this season. Career lows. The thing that made him special, the thing that made him arguably the most dangerous dual threat QB in football was minimized by the scheme. And then when it came time to win a playoff game with his arm, 168 yards, incomplete on 4th and 11 to end the season. After the game, Hurts took the blame.
I mean, they played cover 4 structure and I didn't make the play. I own it. I own it all.
That's accountability, and credit to him for that. But the play design didn't exactly set him up for success.
I'm just saying, why did you throw that?
Go from here.
Hey, why would you throw that pass though? Like, just being real, y'all. Like, he had way more time. Like, he had so much more time. Like, I just feel like you forced it. Like, that right there is the most dumbest throw. Like, even though the play call, yeah, it was terrible, but why did you throw that? Like, your pocket, it's plenty times, Jalen Dirt, where your pocket was clean and you just forced things, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, your pocket was clean. It's not like you was getting, like, pressured. Like you had a lot more seconds in that pocket.
Hey, look. And credit to him for that. But the play design didn't exactly
like the pocket would have been clean. He could have skirted off the lot.
That's
he could have skirted off the lot, come back in, wait for wide receivers to make a different move or something. You know, like I just feel like you could have done more with that play. It was a terrible call, but I just feel like you just said F it, bro. I just feel like you just threw it.
And credit to him for that. But the play design,
like, look, the pocket he wasn't getting blitzed
either. So where do the Eagles go from
He wasn't
here?
getting punt, like
the offseason drama is about to unfold. First, Kevin Patullo. Marcus Hayes of the Philadelphia Inquirer wrote that Patullo cannot survive the week. The fans have already made an Instagram account dedicated to getting him fired. There's reported interest in bringing in Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator, though that does seem like a long shot. But somebody is getting the axe, and Patullo is the obvious choice. Next is AJ Brown. The relationship with the coaching staff is clearly fractured. He's been dodging media for over a month and has been publicly critical of the offense all season long. But that dead cap number makes a trade almost impossible. The most likely outcome is the Eagles fire their offensive coordinator, maybe bring in someone that AJ Brown respects, and try to repair the relationship, because financially the Eagles are stuck with AJ Brown. Third is is Nick Sirianni. Here's the thing about Sirianni. He's now alternated wildcard exits with Super Bowl runs in all 5 of his playoff seasons as head coach. Wildcard loss, Super Bowl. Wildcard loss, Super Bowl, wildcard loss. If that pattern holds, does that mean the Eagles are winning a Super Bowl next year? That's probably not how statistics work. But
no, he just had he had his defensive pieces, bro. The 2 times he went to the Super Bowl, he had Slay Jr. He had C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He had a stellar defense. Their defense wasn't as stellar as it's been. Every time they lost key pieces on their defense, they downgraded. I don't know why they gave up C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's the heart and soul of that team. You have DBs on that team that's not a part of that. Like, you have Ringo. I mean, you got Cooper DeJean. You have Quinshawn. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, they wasn't the DB1. Like, when it come to Cooper DeJean was known for blitzes and punt returns. He wasn't guarding the DB1. Slay Jr. was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Neither was Quinshawn. Quinshawn, he good, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, he good. But I just feel like I have an unproven DB core. You know what I'm saying? Got Jihad. Where's Jihad Campbell? Is he injured? Y'all tell me in the comments. I'm like, what's going on with Jihad Campbell? You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I just feel like your defense ain't really as good as it was. You lost key pieces. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel. You know, you lost key pieces.
Real question is whether Sirianni can survive another coordinator change and another season of offensive dysfunction. He's loyal to his guys, maybe too loyal. And at some point, Lurie is going to decide that loyalty is costing him championships. Look, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. This Eagles team was never as good as their record suggested. All season long, I said that this year's Eagles were like last year's Kansas City Chiefs. They might be barely pulling out these victories, but there were clear issues offensively. And all season long, it didn't make sense. On paper, this is the most talented team in football. They went 11-6 in the weakest division in football. They had an elite defense carrying
in the weakest division in football, bro. That's false. Weakest the division in football is that, bro. What? You gonna say that, bro? With the weakest division in football, with the Panthers, you know what I'm saying? The Falcons, they didn't have a freaking positive record. You know what I'm saying? Like, please stop it, bro. We did not have the weakest division in football, bro. Please stop.
A mediocre offense all season, and when they ran into a 49ers
clearly somebody doesn't know ball
and coached by Kyle Shanahan, a guy who actually knows how to scheme players open, they got exposed. Coaching changes are coming, relationship repair is needed, and somewhere Kyle Shanahan is getting ready to take his duct-taped, injury-ravaged 49ers to Seattle with a real shot at making another Super Bowl run.
Look, he ain't going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Weiner's gonna get exposed. You know, Weiner should have lost this game, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just Jalen Dirt. You know what I mean? So Sam Darnold comes out there playing lights out, head on fire. You know what I mean? Then the Weiners are finished. But anyways, man, it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy before you end up like BJ Boy Jay out, man. Jay.